So this has to be one of the most bizarre excuses of all time. Now, as I'm sure you remember, there was an argument between Brie Larson and her colleagues Don Cheadle and Chris Hemsworth during an interview, and a body language expert has covered it, and that video has received 410,000 views. And on Twitter, a number of people are tweeting towards Don Cheadle about this video, and today Don Cheadle has replied, but he's actually given an excuse. What he claims is that Brie Larson was trying to keep her ponytail behind her because the hairstylist kept flying in and fixing it. So Don Cheadle was trying to claim that the hairstylist was coming into the interview and causing some sort of disruption, and Brie Larson was very accommodating. That's what he actually says. He says that she was actually being very accommodating. That wasn't what you saw in this interview. You clearly heard Don Cheadle whisper to Brie Larson, "I told you to stop touching me," after Brie Larson kept elbowing him. And then Brie Larson later on in the interview started arguing with Chris Hemsworth, and you can also hear Chris Hemsworth whisper, "I'm covering," because they were having an argument. And then Brie Larson says that they've been arguing all day. This has got nothing to do with a hairstylist coming in, because that's probably very common. There's probably some sort of hairstylist or beautician who keeps rushing in, keeps interrupting what's happening between the different interviews. But that's standard. That isn't what's happened in this interview. You can clearly see Brie Larson deliberately elbowing Don Cheadle a number of times and then arguing with Chris Hemsworth. But there's also another interview with Gemma Renner that was a complete disaster. Now, both Chris Hemsworth and Gemma Renner haven't tried to come out and defend Brie Larson in any way. So Chris Hemsworth uses Twitter a lot and Gemma Renner uses Instagram. Now, these interviews took place before the world premiere in Los Angeles. So those two actors, Chris Hemsworth and Gemma Renner, they could have took photos with Brie Larson but at the world premiere, which is quite normal, and posted them on social media such as Twitter and Instagram, but they didn't. They haven't even tried to defend Brie Larson. But the only excuse for all Brie Larson's behaviour is that she had some sort of hairstylist flying in and disrupting what they were doing. This is ridiculous. Why didn't Don Cheadle say this originally? If this is the reason why Brie Larson was arguing with Chris Hemsworth and Don Cheadle, why didn't he say that originally when he tweeted a few days ago? Now he's just trying to come up with some bizarre excuse claiming that it's down to a hairstylist. It's just ridiculous. We're not stupid. Why is Don Cheadle trying to present the image that we're stupid? And I do actually feel sorry for Don Cheadle, because Don Cheadle, like I said in my original video, is a very experienced and professional actor. He just wants to do his job. Yet Brie Larson, throughout this interview, deliberately elbowing him, trying to antagonise him. And yet you can hear Don Cheadle say, "I told you not to touch me." So I do feel for Don Cheadle. He's just in the middle of this trying to fix it. Yet his excuse is just quite weird and quite bizarre. And again, why hasn't Chris Hemsworth and Gemma Renner come out and try to defend or try to improve the image? Now, it may be that they don't actually want anything to do with Brie Larson. They just want to keep her distance from her because she's like this poison that just antagonises all her colleagues. And again, you saw that in another interview with Gemma Renner. So it's not just this one interview. The interview with Gemma Renner is just as bad, because you can clearly see Gemma Renner was turned away from her, just completely contradicted what she said straight away. So I was just puzzled. I don't understand why Don Cheadle has come up with this bizarre excuse about a hairstylist. And what I also say is there's no smoke without fire. When you can see these actors arguing amongst each other and whispering to each other, you can clearly see it. You can hear them whispering. You can hear Chris Hemsworth whisper, "I'm covering," just after they have an argument. The ponytail is just an excuse. It's ridiculous. And Don Cheadle, to his credit, is trying to improve things, but why come out with this bizarre excuse about a hairstylist? I don't understand. Allegedly letting a hairstylist antagonise them. They would have told the hairstylist not to bother. And Brie Larson's ponytail, why would it keep falling out? Is she not able to keep a ponytail in place during an interview? Not that she's moving around. She's sat down. Why is she that concerned about a ponytail? It's just nonsense. It's some sort of excuse that the marketing department of Marvel were told Don Cheadle to say. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But for me, this is just some sort of silly excuse from Don Cheadle to try and wiggle his way out of this situation. Again, leave your comments below and also like and subscribe.